What's up, WikiManiacs? Happy 2025. Reddit on Wiki starts now.
Get therapy.
I'm not ready.
Get therapy.
What's up, WikiManiacs? Welcome to a new episode of Am I the Asshole Fridays. I'm your host, Josh. And, of course, join with me as they did in 2021, 2022,
Whoa.
2023,
Holy.
2024,
Can you believe it?
and now 2025. John
We
and
did it.
Sean, what's going on, boys?
What's up, boys? I missed y'all, man. It's been a while.
It's been a while since I could.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know the rest of the-
I don't know anything after that.
That's the only part he doesn't mumble. So.
Yeah.
How are the holidays, boys?
Great.
Chilling.
My family literally just left. The boys were waiting on me to say my goodbyes. Yeah, I won't see them for a year. We were all crying. It was a thing. But it was cool to see them. That was a surprise. We didn't know we were going to see them until like 2 days before we saw them.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then my parents didn't know at all until they walked through the door.
Nice.
Oh, I bet you they were crying.
Oh,
then,
they're-
huh?
Yeah, the video, they were shocked. What? Yeah, it was crazy. It was awesome.
That's awesome. That's a great Christmas present to your parents. Love that.
Surprised they're home. I thought they would be traveling out somewhere.
Oh, yeah. After the month-long cruise and then the immediate 2-week cruise after that or whatever. Yeah, they're chilling right now.
I want that life for us.
Yeah.
Same.
Podcast on a cruise, does that exist?
Sheesh. Actually, it does. I've been a guest in one.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wild. Okay.
Never mind. Moving on.
How about you, John? Any surprise visits from family members?
Nah, man. I've just been chilling. Just been hanging out,
Nice.
relaxing, working out. That's all I do nowadays.
Hell yeah. Keeping in
Jack
shape
John.
while the rest of us are eating desserts.
Oh, I was eating my desserts, but I would be on my Stairmasters afterward.
How many steps do I have to take to work all that out?
Boy, way too much.
I didn't do any. So I remember the one day because I was still sick, like mid-holiday still.
Are you
And-
feeling better now?
Yeah, now I am. And then
Thank
Sienna
goodness.
started feeling sick. So.
Oh, no.
But there was one day where I looked at my watch at the end of the day and it was like 300 steps. And I was like, holy fuck.
Uh-oh.
I walked to the couch, sat down, and that was it. But well needed. Anyway, boys, we're back. Time to hop into some stories today. Are you guys
One more
ready?
shout out to Midscore. Thank you for
Oh,
the
the
12 days of
goats.
Midscore.
Absolutely.
Our goat. You
Yeah.
allowed us a little bit of rest.
Thank
Yes.
you, Midscore.
Yes, if you haven't, go check out the 12 days of Midscore. All well done stories, great picks. So shout out to Midscore for that, and go check it out.
Or as Sean would call it, 12 days of Midscormus.
Yep.
Yep.
I did forget it immediately. Was that only day 3?
All right, boys. Well, let's hop into the first story of the day. Full disclosure, I did pick some stories before I went on break, and then I picked some
Ooh.
this morning as we're recording. So some of these are a little bit older, but they're new to us. So
And really, that's all we care about.
exactly.
Sorry, y'all.
So this first one posted by miserable lower score bag, lower score 4746. And the title is, Am I the Asshole for Not Telling a Man That the Research He Was Mansplaining to Me Was My Own?
Oh,
Mm.
hell yeah. We're starting off hot. I love it.
So hot. This is
I see this all the time back when I was on Twitter. Like there'd be a woman comic book writer or comic
Oh,
book
yeah.
artist, and they just like tweet out a picture, and then some fucking neckbeard would be like, "Do you even know anything about this?" Actually, I created this goddamn
Yeah.
character, so shut your goddamn mouth.
I saw that with game developers every once in a while too.
Oh yeah.
It'd be like a woman game developer post something about it, and they're just like, you don't know anything about this game, or women should be in
Actually.
games. Actually, I made this. Fuck.
Sounds like an average wrestling bro over here.
So this will be a good one, I think. So I don't normally post on Reddit, so please forgive me if I do this wrong. I, 33 female, work in a small very technical, specific, male-dominated field. I won't give too much information on it, as I think you could easily find my identity if I did, but let's just say it's a subcategory of law. I graduated 9 years ago. For anyone wondering, the system in my country is different than the US, so I studied for 5 years, and am now a lawyer as well as a researcher.
Nice.
I published some work here and there, but nothing too major, and no one outside of my field knows my work. Yesterday, I went to a bar with a couple of friends who introduced me to one of their friends who works in the same field as me. I was pretty excited to meet him because it's rare to meet people who work in that field. He doesn't exactly do the same thing as I do. He's not a lawyer, but a legal advisor. But we work in the same topics. So naturally, we started talking about our work. At one point, we were discussing a point on which we had different opinions. So I explained mine to him, and he replied by saying that my opinion was based on nothing, while his opinion was based on the work of a professional. And you guessed it, it was me.
Oh.
He basically started explaining my work to me, but in a completely wrong way, and missed all of my points. I asked him if he was sure that was what that author meant, and he said that it was because it was pretty simple, actually. For another good 20 minutes, he explained all of it to me in detail, like as I was a first-year law student.
OP is patient. I would not. I'd be like, what was the name of that professor again?
Oh, yeah.
That's my guy. That's me, stupid. That's fucking me.
I didn't say anything because it was pretty funny to watch him say things that were completely wrong with so much confidence.
Oh, to be a man.
After that, the topic changed and the night went on. But at the end of the night, right before leaving, I decided to tell him I was actually the person that wrote the work he quoted, and that he really didn't understand it. He reacted very badly and got angry, and he told me that I tried to manipulate him and humiliate him.
Good.
I mean, I don't even think, I mean, if OP was trying to do that, I'm with John. I'm for that. But it sounds like OP just pulled you to the side and was like, oh, yeah, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like she dunked on you in front of everybody at the bar.
Yeah.
And I wish she would have. She's not doing enough to embarrass this guy.
Yeah. But Sean is right. It does sound like a private conversation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, by the way, that was me. Okay, see, you manipulated me and tried to embarrass me.
He yelled at me for not saying it was my work at the beginning. I simply replied that he had embarrassed himself and left.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning to text from my friends saying that I was wrong for causing drama and tension, and that I could have been nicer to their friend. I'm not sure if I'm in the wrong there. I mean, yes, I could have told him right away, but is it that big of a deal that I didn't? I'm not exactly sure. So am I the asshole?
They're not mad at their friend
for being a pompous little asshole
and losing his cool.
Seriously. The guy could, instead of blowing a gasket, the guy could have been like, oh shit, dude, my bad. If that was you, like, I read your work, apologize, I misunderstood, what the lesson was.
Yeah.
Instead of being humble about it, you expect her to be humble instead because he hurt your little fragile ego. So I don't know what to tell you, my guy. Get your shit straight. Don't fucking mansplain things to the actual author of the thing that you try to quote on. What a dumbass.
That's another level of like mansplaining.
Seriously.
to the creator.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, every time we get one of these stories, I'm just like, bro, who are y'all's friends, bro? Why so many? Every OP has such shitty friends. I don't get it.
Yeah.
My friends are kind of divided. How? How? In what world?
Yeah. It's crazy because like my friends would chop on me, but they would back me in a situation like this. You know what I mean?
Oh, like, they would definitely, the friends would chop and be like, damn, you don't know how to talk to people, but also they would also be like, that guy was being an asshole for sure.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
My friends would join in on bullying me. That's how I know they're real ones.
They'd be like, are you sure they're the author? Never been proven, right?
The way they would just buy me drinks and just clown on me the whole day. Just be like, you fucking dumbass. That's what you get. And you know what? I'll just accept it because I was being a dumbass in that situation.
But yeah, I mean, OP's clearly not the asshole. They're literally nothing. I mean, they could have told him, but at the end of the day, he's the one being a pompous dick. So let him be a pompous dick.
To start the conversation off being like, well, what you're saying is based on nothing.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
All right. We already got off on the wrong foot, brother. I'm gonna just, you think I'm going to have anything nice to say to you for the rest of the night? Well, what you expect?
Yeah. Yeah, insane. And there are a couple edits here that clarify a few things. So, first edit, I forgot to make this clear, and maybe it's a bit of a misunderstanding, but both conversations happened only between the two of us. We were the only ones talking about our work, and our friends also weren't really there for that when I told them that I was the author. So it's not like I publicly humiliated him. The only thing embarrassing for him here is that a woman seems smarter than him, and that's what he had an issue with. And edit 2, I've seen some comments claiming that this post was fake because that just doesn't happen. I've seen many stories where the same thing happens. I'm not trying to justify anything because I really don't care, but I do find it funny seeing a lot of comments from women sharing similar stories, and then lots of comments from men saying this doesn't happen.
They're all those comic book wrestling fan type of fanboys that you got going over there.
Yeah.
You're saying just because a woman's smarter than you, and a lot of them are way smarter than men, that it's not a reality?
Yeah.
Boy, oh my God.
Well, Sean and I came into the story being like, we've seen this happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's completely believable. Insane. But Reddit deemed not the asshole.
Good.
Loria said, not the asshole, and kudos to you for being so calm when he mansplained your own research.
I wouldn't be.
That's insane.
It's crazy when people are so confidently wrong.
Yeah.
They just wholeheartedly believe every wrong thing they're saying. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's insane.
I feel like I just live my life on like a do I actually know anything type of vibe. You know what I mean?
I think that's healthy. That's healthy.
That's me, brother.
Yeah, I'm just always like, I am ready and willing to be proven wrong about any
That's
and
us
everything.
every week. What you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
On a lot of stories.
A lot.
Oh, man. All right, let's move on to the second story. I'm jumping around a little bit.
Let's do
This
it.
one is more recent, and it's cross-posted by Mary Gitz, 2011.
Oh, first
goat.
hit it.
First goat of 2025.
The first goat, yeah.
Well deserved, Mary.
And the title is, Am I the Asshole for Telling My Father and His Girlfriend that the gift she got me was creepy and invasive?
I mean, if it's creepy and invasive, you absolutely have the right to call it creepy and invasive.
Yeah. I wonder what it is. What would somebody get their
Ooh.
stepdaughter?
Let's
It's
see
a
what
camera to their room. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
Just
what
a
are you
jerk
guessing?
off straight and down the barrel. The barrel of the gun. We've done this one.
Our first 1 million view reels on Instagram.
Is that the one?
It was the one.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Down the fucking barrel is crazy.
There's a million people who only know us from that.
Mhm.
God damn. What are you guessing, Sean? What do you think this?
I mean, the only
invasive-
thing that I could imagine this being is something fucking sex related, right? Like that would be weird and invasive.
Okay.
Because besides that, what else would you get that upset about?
Like a sex swing or something.
Yeah,
your
like,
parents.
oh yeah, here's a fucking
That's wild.
I got an ad for this jackhammer 3500. Thought you could use it.
I thought of you first.
Whoa.
Okay.
This is invasive.
All right. So I'm expecting my first child due in February. This is the first grandchild on both sides, so everyone is very excited about it.
She like gifted her old milk pump or something.
I don't even know if that would be that weird.
Is it? I
Would
don't
that be
know.
sanitary?
I
I
feel-
don't know how to
I mean, I
work.
guess you
I
can
have no
clean
idea.
anything, but I just imagine everyone has their own. Again, not parents here.
I also have no idea, but I feel that would be. I'll say this: it's less weird than what they actually give them
Oh, the
By-
jackhammer.
okay.
by a large margin. So, my father's girlfriend Lena and I have an okay relationship, but we're very different people. I don't like most of the things she likes, and vice versa. There's no bad blood between us, but she can be a little pushy sometimes, so we're not exactly close. One of the biggest differences between me and Lena is our stance on influencer culture. She loves it, and I don't.
Damn, how old is? Did they say?
Doesn't say.
Oh God. Sounds like your stepmom is your age.
It does sound like that, but again, no ages are confirmed here. So,
okay.
No bad blood, but it sounds like there is already.
Yeah.
but she was my best friend growing up.
Yeah. Oh no.
I'm kidding. Since I got pregnant, she's been sending me posts on Instagram of random influencers talking about their experience with childbirth, motherhood, etc. A few months ago, one of her favorite influencers gave birth and filmed the whole thing.
Oh,
She posted a cutesy, poorly edited video of the baby being born and her entire family watching from the outside of the delivery room with country music playing in the background. Lena sent me that video, and I remember telling her I'd never do something like that. My husband and I celebrated Christmas at my cousin's place with the rest of the family. When it was time for us to exchange and open our gifts, Lena gave me an envelope. Inside was a videographer's business card. She told me she was hiring him to film my birth.
yo.
Okay, that is pretty invasive
And creepy.
and creepy. After someone told you that, hey, that's not my style.
Yeah, I never want to do this. I think they
Yeah.
want that as a Christmas present.
Yeah.
I seriously cannot imagine being filmed while going through a medical procedure, and I don't want anyone besides my husband at the hospital with me. I've been clear about that since I announced my pregnancy. I didn't want to embarrass Lena, so I thanked her when she gave me the card. Yesterday, my husband and I had lunch with her and my father, and I told her that while I appreciated the gesture, I didn't feel comfortable with a videographer. I said she didn't have to get me anything else for Christmas, but I'd appreciate it if she didn't hire him. Both she and my father got offended, and we ended up having an argument. At one point, Lena started crying and said she couldn't understand why I'd pass up the opportunity of creating such a beautiful memory of my child's birth.
That's not her memory, though.
Yeah,
It's-
I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like it's their memory. It's their choice. It's their body. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah, I feel like after the child is born and they're like in your arms, that's the memory you want to remember. I feel the birthing part is probably the part most people want to forget.
I can imagine. It sounds
Yeah.
terrifying.
So both she and my father got offended.
What's the father mad about?
I don't know. His young girlfriend's upset. I replied that I found the idea of having someone film me during such a vulnerable moment to be creepy and invasive, and that this wasn't the first time I expressed I was uncomfortable with it. My father said that it was rude of me to say that and refused the gift, and that he's very disappointed in me. My husband agrees with me, and as pretty much does my whole family.
Yeah.
I don't really think I did anything wrong, but my father's reaction is freaking me out. So am I the asshole?
I'll
No.
say this. It sounds like, your dad is you should care the least about your dad's opinion. I feel like he seems, I don't know, seems weird. Again, this is just me. This could be an older lady that just likes influencers. Who knows?
Could be. It could be.
I could be judging hard here. So
It's funnier if we imagine it the other way. Though.
yeah, if we imagine this as your fucking college roommate. But yeah, I mean, it's your body, your choice. I think it's very weird gift to give unless previously talked about. I guess you could have been like, can I use the videographer for like whenever we get home from the hospital,
Yeah.
like to record a party? Maybe we could do that. But yeah, I definitely don't want them up my hoo-ha while a baby's coming out.
No, I completely agree. And that was kind of the compromise that I was thinking of that you guys already mentioned already. Could have been like an open-ended gift saying like, hey, whenever you want to use this videographer, photographer, however you want down the line, that would probably be I think that would probably be a thoughtful gift. But the whole like, shooting the
Has
fucking...
to be at the birth.
Yeah.
It
That's
has to
crazy.
be when it's
Straight down the
crowning,
barrel.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta be able to see the baby like monster reborn up in that bitch. Like we don't want to see that. We don't want to see that shit. And kind of like what the OP said in the story already. Like they've expressed many times that like, hey, I don't really like this shit, and yet they continue to do it or they continue to give that gift. Yeah, screw them for feeling offended. It is a funny scenario that we're thinking of that this might be like a super young girlfriend, but yeah, definitely not the asshole and sensible family for at least backing your side in this story.
Yeah. I'm completely okay with not compromising and just being like, yeah, don't hire the videographer.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
ever.
for
sure.
Because I don't trust them. I'd be like, I'd be making like putting up boundaries, being like, yeah, don't let them into the hospital. Like, I don't want them anywhere near me. And the nurses will do that for you, I believe, or security. Someone will keep them away from you. But yeah, it's good that your family is backing you up, your husband's backing you up. So yeah, not the asshole at all.
Yeah, I think there's only two people that disagree with the gift. with your opinion on the gift. So, and that's your dad and your stepmom.
And
you're
your
super
dad's
young.
girlfriend. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Reddit deemed not the asshole, and sure said, not the asshole. Do not tell them when you are in labor, and tell the hospital that both of them aren't allowed in the delivery room.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
I can see Lena whipping out her phone, and if your dad doesn't have your back during a moment that is purely yours and your husband, then he can wait outside too. So, great advice.
Damn.
I didn't even think about not telling them at all. Like just be like, oh yeah, the baby's born.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, I mean, if she could hire it, but if you never tell them, when
it is.
Yeah.
She can still pop up with a phone though.
Yeah, but I mean,
Could
if
you
you don't tell her,
imagine?
she's not going to pop up. She would have
She
known.
probably would. If she's into that type of lifestyle, like, I want to record everything.
Well, I'm just saying, like, how would she know if you didn't tell you?
Right.
I know.
Yeah. John's saying that she would do that, though. She's the type of
for sure.
person who would do that. And I'm just like, that's insane. All right, moving on to this next one. That is a very long one. It's got two pretty long updates.
2 hours long. Let's do this.
It's not, I hope not. If I read that slow, I have bigger problems, I think.
This is Josh's way of telling us, Sean, to shut the fuck up the whole time.
No.
Oh, yeah.
You guys will have reactions to the story, I promise you. And that's okay. So this one is cross-posted by OK Refrigerator 4522. And the title is, Am I Overreacting? My fiance asked me not to wear white to our wedding.
No, you are allowed to react.
Yes.
It's your own
I
wedding.
agree with Sean. Yes.
And there is a trigger warning. I mean, as far as trigger warnings go, this is not the worst, but it's emotional incest and shaming.
Emotional incest. First time I've heard that.
Yeah. Same.
What?
Only my sister can wear white in our wedding.
And I have to kiss her too.
Alabama's wild. Alabama's crazy. We haven't started
Roll
the story,
Tide just
but I
got their
know.
ass beat, baby.
Roll Tide.
All right, let's hop into this long one. So buckle up. All right, have you ever seen I Love a Mama's Boy?
Yes.
Well, that's basically my life.
What is that?
It's this show on TLC. It's kind of like 90 Day Fiancé. Where
Fucking
basically
John and
they're
TLC,
obsessed-
brother.
they're
This is
obsessed-
crazy.
They're obsessed with, oh my gosh, there's this one story where it's like the mom is like super obsessed with like, the son, and they get like spas together and they get freaking, I keep forgetting the character's name, but it's an insane watch. Just watch like TikTok or YouTube highlights of it. It's crazy stories, man.
That's so funny that you knew it. I'm so glad you knew
You
what
knew
it was.
immediately.
Immediately.
So I, 27 female, have been with my fiance, John,
Whoa.
28 male, since high school. We dated and broke up because his mother, Debbie, 53 female, convinced him we were too young to be in love.
At 28?
They were in high school at the time.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, sorry. No. They're
They're currently 20.
Yeah, there's either less of a year or 1 year difference between the two of them. It's not that big deal.
Gotcha.
So we broke up and went to college. During my sophomore year, we started talking again on socials. He apologized and said he missed me, and we got back together. Cue the waterworks. Debbie literally cried the first time she saw that we were back together and told John that I had done witchcraft on him.
Oh,
What a Debbie Downer.
That's good. Okay.
is it?
I've always respected Debbie out of respect for my mother and upbringing. I was raised not to go back and forth with my elders, but she definitely abuses that. Since John and I decided to get back together, she has tried to hook him up with women from her church, her job, and even asks her friends for their daughters to give it a shot.
Damn, she really hates your ass.
She's crazy. John denies all of them, and Debbie says I'm controlling. John has told her to stop, but not in a way I feel she gets the point. Anyway, 3 months ago, John proposed.
Oh, God.
Deb didn't come to the engagement party. Cool. She didn't come to the family dinner we had so both sides could meet. Cool. John's dad came and apologized for his ex's behavior. I told him don't worry about it. The problem really began when John decided to confront his mother about how she's behaving towards our whole engagement. This turned on the light bulb in his brain, as he's always tried to ignore it and tell me to ignore her. She gave him a sob story about how she got pregnant with him before marriage and never really got to have a wedding, and this is triggering her. In brackets, she had a shotgun wedding at the courthouse. He asked her what she needed to feel more comfortable, and she responded that if she wore white to the wedding and I wore a soft pink or lavender, she would feel comfortable.
Yo, what?
Hey, yo, Debbie, it's called therapy, baby girl. Fucking don't take this shit out on your kid.
Yeah.
Yo.
My fiance, for some reason, thought this was a fair compromise, ? He also said, not asked, that his mom could walk me down the aisle so that she can get her moment in her dress.
What?
I told him absolutely not, and we got into an argument about it. I told him that it's insane that he would argue with me to defend his mom's honor, but wouldn't do the same the other way around. He accused me of being petty and selfish. It was bad. We both agreed to cool off, but by how heated it got, I could tell we both almost agreed to call it off. Now we're in a weird place. I love John, but now seeing how much he lets her impact his life, I just imagine her sitting at home with this evil grin, knowing she's ruining my relationship with John, and he's just putty in her hands. I think I should just call off the wedding. Am I overreacting?
Call it off.
No.
He will always choose his mom over you, girl.
I will say, maybe it sounds like his dad is somewhat reasonable. Maybe talk to the dad and be like, can you talk to your son? And then if that doesn't work, let him know that I'm fucking like, I'm 1 foot out. Because that's crazy that he would even ask me that shit. First off, I'm about to goddamn leave. So this is his last fucking chance. You talk to him.
If you don't do something, there's not a wedding.
Yeah, I'm fucking out.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't blame you for just getting out.
Peacing out.
But I'm just saying,
yeah.
the dad, I mean, this sounds like it's been a long relationship. The dad sounds normal.
Reasonable, yeah.
So I would say if you are truly in love and you feel like this is the one, try that route. But just know that's the last ditch effort.
Yeah.
I mean, walking you down the aisle while she's wearing white. I just can't believe it. I can't believe your John would just be like, yeah, that's a pretty good compromise. I mean, that all makes sense. Yeah, I think,
wear light pink, baby girl. My mom's going to wear white for our wedding.
You look great in pink, babe. I don't understand why you're fighting.
I've always
them.
dreamed of my mom in a nice white dress at my wedding.
You know?
Walking down my aisle.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I'd go scorched earth to begin with. I'm like,
Yeah, that's fair.
I wouldn't even bother trying to find compromise in this situation, because that's like setting the precedence of the whole relationship. Like, even when you guys were dating together, there's always that one person that's trying to sabotage every single step of your relationship, and not knowing how long, Debbie's going to live for the foreseeable future. She's always going to be part of every single decision that you're going to have in your life.
Or
So-
maybe you could.
maybe you could really Debbie down her,
No.
We're starting 2025. It was a
On a video
joke.
game.
It
A
was
video
a
game.
joke, guys.
Debbie down her in a video game.
Oh,
That's
man.
what we
It was
call
a
it.
joke. It
I
was
don't even think in a
joke.
video game saves that
In
one.
a video game, it's gonna save it. It's gonna save it. If you don't know what the fuck we're talking about, go attend one of our live streams. We always be saying that, people. But yeah, I wouldn't even go in this situation. Debbie seems like it's gonna be a problem for the rest of your relationship and rest of your marriage. It's always that, dark cloud looming over you. So if I was OP, I'd just piece the fuck out.
That's
true,
fair.
yeah.
That's fair. All right. So some relevant comments, because like I said, there are some updates.
I'm sorry. I can't get over the fact that Sean just wanted to fucking kill off someone.
For the foreseeable future, she's going to be around. I thought.
First fucking episode, brother. You're
she have to?
calling that.
We're joking.
We're
We're joking.
We're joking.
We're joking.
Give me that. So relevant
Comment
comment.
really good. See, I know what reference that is.
Hey, that's impressive. Relevant comment from OP. This is after a bunch of people gave them advice. Says everyone is screaming to leave him, and I would be too if I was just a third party observer reading this. So I don't fault them. But we live together and have been planning a wedding. It hurts. I think this is my last straw though, so I appreciate your advice. I'm going to get my father-in-law to gather everyone on his side and talk about this. If that doesn't work, the wedding is off.
Yeah, get out of there. That's the last chance.
Yeah. But you nailed it, Sean. That's great advice. My dad hasn't paid any deposits yet since it's still early on in the engagement, so we're safe there. I have also decided to show John this thread, and I'll post an update after I meet him. Do you imagine what they're saying in those comments?
Oh, yeah. John's mom wants to fuck him.
Exactly. So, update. John came home remorseful. He told me he was anxious about it and brought it up to a coworker / friend about how I don't want to compromise.
That's not a compromise, though. That's
It's just being
fucking
weird.
insane.
Apparently, his friend, God bless his soul, went off on him about him being cringy, and this angered me. So when I say it's a problem, you don't do anything, but when another man tells you, now you see the other side. I then brought up some of my talking points. Talking point number 1, him being so easily manipulated. This was also proved when I said he would listen to whatever another man said before his partner, even though his friend agreed with me. It hurt that he didn't listen to me.
Yeah.
Point 2, his mom going out of her way to break us up with this silly request. He was way more open to this theory now knowing how cringe it looked, even telling this situation to someone else. I compared it to a father removing a bride's wedding garter, and he got the point.
Oh, God. Oh,
That is a
the
weird-
worst
that is a
visual
weird
I've
picture.
ever fucking
cannot.
heard.
I cannot even imagine.
You know
What the fuck?
You know, I fucking hate that thing anyways. Like, even when
Yeah,
the married
the
couple
idea.
does it, I'm like, this is not for why? We don't need to see this.
Yeah.
Like, half of us are related to either you or the other one. I don't need to see that.
Yeah.
So
it is
just
weird.
the image of a father doing that to a daughter makes me want to. Oh, God.
I mean, I guess it gets the point across. So
Definitely.
That it did.
it does that. Point 3, him agreeing to his mom's crazy request before even talking to me.
Yep.
He claimed he didn't, that he told her he'll see how I feel about it and just brought it up to me. I asked why he did not see that his mother walking down the aisle on his wedding day was extremely creepy.
Yeah.
He said it's just a dress in his eyes. He just didn't want his mom to miss the wedding. I told him there will be no wedding if he doesn't straighten up, and he said he understood.
Just in what wedding have you ever seen the bride wearing pink because the mother-in-law wants to wear white? I mean,
Seriously.
doesn't exist.
Insane. Point 4 or whatever, however many points we're on. Me showing him how blatantly obvious it was that she hated me. She didn't even ask to wear white alongside me, which is still weird, but that I don't wear white at all as if I'm some impure whore. He said he didn't think of it that way. He just knew she hadn't been showing up because she said seeing me in white hurt her. So I said, do you not hear your own mom saying that she wants to be the bride herself?
Yeah.
That she can't stand it being me? And it finally looked like a ding went off in his head. This man is slow as shit, but he's finally getting it, I think.
He's easily manipulated by anybody but his partner.
Yeah.
It's wild to see.
Point 5, me asking him what role she would play in our wedding, childbirth, Mother's Day, and everything to come.
Ooh, like what John said. Unless. I'll leave it at that. Oh, God. We're going to get fucking... that's the last joke I make of the year. This is the first episode and the last
Whoa.
time I make that joke all
New Year's
year.
resolution.
Yeah, I'm calling it now. No more of those jokes.
Flash forward to next
Yeah.
week.
The next live.
Yeah. Would I always come second place? He assured me I wouldn't, and he realizes how bad he fucked up. He was just trying to keep the peace. I asked by always making her happy and making me miserable. I refuse to live my life this way.
He's spitting facts.
He agreed and said he was sorry and that he wouldn't want to make me miserable. We have no children yet, but we created a plan and how to deal with any big milestones. She won't be there for anything unless I'm comfortable with it, and I won't be unless she does a 180. Final point, I asked what did his mom say to change his mind, and you all guessed it, she cried. She cried about how her baby was getting taken away from her, how she never got her wedding, how his dad left her and she was alone and had no one else, that she felt sick and just wanted to experience a real wedding before she dies. In brackets, she's in perfect health.
Yeah, date around, Mama Debbie. Come on now.
You would still get married at whatever 58, whatever she was.
Test the field. There's apps out there now. It's accessible for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw, what do you call it? My TikTok opened up, and I don't know if this is something about my algorithm, maybe, but it was like, my mom said the dating apps aren't working, so here's my mom. Age 50.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
I seen that. It was like a freaking singer from Nashville or some shit like that.
Oh, really? Oh,
I got a business owner from Dallas. I was like, why is this on my... I showed Nancy. She said, oh, that's nice.
Hey, going back to the whole
Good
TLC
kid.
theme.
The song was Daddy's Home by Usher. I was like, this is crazy. This is
I was
crazy.
gonna say, going back to TLC theme, they have a show called 90 Day Fiancé, A Single Life. And there's actually a character named Debbie there. So Mama Debbie, there's two of them named Debbie. So Mama Debbie be the third cast.
Okay, is there not a show that we discussed on the podcast where single sons and single mothers,
yes,
and they all
go in a manor,
co-mingle?
right?
What is that called?
MILF Manor.
MILF Manor. That's what it is.
Oh, shit.
What an insane concept.
Oh my God. Bonus content idea. We watch and review each episode. Oh my God.
I'm telling you, if Nancy ever has free time, I'd fucking watch 90 Day Fiancé with her. Juliet will probably join in. We'll fucking make a killing out of that.
Oh God. All I want to do is review episodes of MILF Manor.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my God.
So she wants to experience a real wedding before she dies. I just told him that if that was enough to manipulate him, what's to say he won't turn on me again? He said his friend and his dad talked some sense into him about how he was going to lose me. So I told him today that this was the last straw for me. He had to do 4 things to keep me engaged if he even cared to. Number 1, go low contact with his mom and do not let her make any decisions on our wedding, which will be postponed another year to see if he actually sticks to his word. Number 2, he has to go to counseling, individually and couples counseling. Number 3, he has to speak to his mom with me present about her behavior towards me, because every time he goes by himself, he comes back with a reason why he left it alone. And number 4, he must create strong boundaries and learn to uphold them. And he agreed to these.
Oh yeah.
Then came the bad part.
Oh.
I showed him the post.
Oh.
I felt so bad as he read everyone rip him to shreds in the comments. I could see how uncomfortable he was as he
I
read.
feel like at that point, do you have to?
I would have started with that maybe. Well, I
Yeah,
guess
maybe.
it reinforces the point she made.
I guess,
I would have maybe picked a few and been like, okay, these ones are actually
Maybe, yeah.
constructive.
You don't need to see the hate.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing stopping him from looking at it by himself, though. That's the problem.
That's
You know how
true.
brutal
Yeah.
Reddit is sometimes.
That's true. That's true. I could see how uncomfortable he was as he read how much of a mama's boy he was and other things about his mom. We called his dad, who I'm no longer calling future father-in-law because I will call this wedding off tomorrow if he doesn't have my back when we speak to his mom. John's dad, Dan, who I'll name since he's a big part of this update. Dan also read John the riot act again. He was relieved John decided to get his act together. We agreed to go to Deb's house tomorrow with Dan and John's aunt, and my dad is tagging along. John has said he will tell his mother that she can't, under any circumstance, make our wedding about her. He also said if she does cry or try to guilt trip him, he will tell her he's going no contact. I feel terrible about getting a man to stop talking to his mother. This isn't something I ever thought I would wanted. I doubt Debbie will come around, especially not tomorrow with all of us against her. I don't know if John will backtrack as soon as he gets there. I explained that if he doesn't grow a spine, I'm leaving. He can either marry me or marry his mom, but that's my ultimatum. He says he chooses me, but I guess we'll see. This should all make me happy, but I still feel icky, and I'll update tomorrow. So, the final update.
Here we go.
Hey everyone, I'm back with the last update. This is a bit long, so buckle up. John and I met up after work and we headed to pick up Dan. John's aunt couldn't make it. My dad was meeting us there. I had really bad anxiety. I told Dan and Dad that they should give us a few minutes before knocking so she doesn't feel ambushed, and they agreed. Here's the part everyone was waiting for. We get to Debbie's. John is quiet. We get there. He gives her a firm but respectful, "Hey, Mom." We sit down and John tells her we came to talk to her. And she asks, "What's wrong?"
You know what's fucking wrong, Debbie.
You know.
You know what's up.
John got right into it. He bluntly said to her that her actions towards me for years have been petty. Her not showing up for any of our wedding events was unacceptable to him, and he flat out asked her why she had a problem with me. I genuinely thought he was going to start off with the dress situation, and he went for the root of it all. Debbie acted like she had no idea what he was talking about. She has actively tried to get him to cheat/leave me for other women, but at that moment was shocked and doesn't know where this was coming from. She said she has no problems with me and loves me like a daughter.
Cap.
She looked at me like she expected me to talk, but like I said to all of you, I wanted to see what John will say. He asked her to be honest and named all the times he recalled that she insulted me to my face and behind my back.
She got receipts.
John,
Stepping up.
proud of you, brother.
He mentioned she also told him he could do better every time I'm not around. This was news to me, but
Shit.
I'm not shocked. Debbie was livid. She genuinely couldn't believe he outed her like that. She starts going off on him, calling him disrespectful and saying he was disrespecting his own mother for an outsider. She kept saying, "I know she made you do this. I know she's the one making you disrespect me like this." John was trying to reason with her and get her to calm down. I then texted Dan and my dad to come in. Once they were inside, Debbie became a different person. She was startled as she wasn't expecting them to come in. And then all of the things she was just saying went out the window. She turned to Dan and my dad and said John walked in and just started yelling at her because of me. My dad looked at me
White
and I
woman
shook my
scared.
head.
I don't even know if Debbie's white. I'm imagining.
Little damsel in distress.
Yeah. Once Dan and Dad got in, everything was calmer for a little while. She went back to denying that she didn't like me, and they all told her that it was obvious, that the dress request was shameful of her, and she immediately replied that it's shameful I won't let her son spend time with her. John said that's not true, and at this point, I'm burning inside. I wanted to correct all the inaccuracies, but I stood quiet. John asked her what the real issue with me was. Debbie starts saying on how she knew I was going to be an issue since we were in high school. She said that once John got with me, his grades started dropping, which isn't true, that he stopped making time for family, also not true, and that once he didn't show up to celebrate Mother's Day with her a few times because of my birthday. My birthday is in April, Mother's Day is in May. That once we got back together, he forgot about her completely because I made him abandon her. In brackets, he goes to her house at least 3 times a week. She said the fact that we had an engagement party without checking how she felt about it was wrong, and all the evidence she needed to see what kind of woman I am. My dad pointed out that she didn't pay for the engagement dinner to have any input on it. Dan asked her what she was thinking of asking to wear white to our wedding, and why is she so hungry for attention. Her face got red and she went off. She told Dan that maybe if he would have properly married her and gave her a real wedding, she wouldn't feel left out.
She loves pointing that finger, huh?
At everyone but herself.
It's everyone's fault.
Dan straight up called bullshit and said that she didn't want to have a real wedding, even though he tried to convince her. The reason being that her mother told her pregnant brides are tacky. She started crying.
This is systemic. This is
It's
just
a vicious cycle.
childhood trauma from her own mom.
Yeah. She started crying, and I honestly felt bad for Debbie here. Mothers, be nice to your daughters or you'll create Debbies. My dad got everyone to calm down, and John finally spoke again and told his mother that he can't keep defending her when she won't even try to respect me. That for his sanity and our relationship, he's going low contact. Debbie kept crying and said that John can't leave her for dead. She's the only mother he'll ever have, and mothers are forever. Wives are not.
Oh, man.
I'm not even his wife yet, and I'm already tearing apart the family. John kept going and told her that we are going to get married. She can't disrespect me and stop crossing boundaries, or she'll be completely cut off. That his visits are dropping down to 1 every 2 weeks, and that she needs to call less. She started going off. She said she knew it. I've done something to him. What did I do to her son? I'm a manipulator and a problem. She told my dad, and she told my dad he raised a demon, and my dad shot back to watch her mouth. John kept shouting, "Mom, stop. Mom, stop." but she kept screaming and then started hyperventilating. She was gripping John's arm, saying she can't breathe. This is when I said to myself, oh no, he's about to flip-flop. He looked at me and I knew he knew what I was thinking. John got her a cup of water and then asked his dad if he could make sure his mom was okay and asked my dad to take Dan home. Dan and Dad agreed and his mom started crying louder. She's literally screaming, I can't breathe, as we walked out so he could hear her. I felt fucking terrible and I finally spoke. I told John I'm sorry and I understand if he felt bad. And he said he knew she was faking it, but his instincts wanted to run over and make sure she was okay. I asked if he was okay and he said no, but he looked really sad about it. My dad walked out behind us. My dad had never seen this side of Deb before and neither had I. She's always been catty or shady towards me, but this was insane. My dad straight up told John that his mom needed help with her mental health, and John said he was going to talk to his aunt about getting her that help. We went home and John cried. He said he cried because he watched his mom villainize me and tell others that he just walked in and verbally assaulted her. He said it reminded him of the times he would fight with his dad because his mom would say Dan would just come home from work and yell at her for no reason. I guess it was deja vu for him. He was silent after she said that, so I do believe it struck a nerve with him. He decided to go no contact for now. Before we went to Deb's house, I called a couple counselors in our area to check availabilities, and our first couple counseling therapy is next month. He called his provider today to check for a therapist within his insurance and got an appointment for himself for the 23rd. The ball is rolling, and John seems like he's on the same page as me now. I know this is killing him, though. Dan called us and let us know he got Deb to calm down. He said he spoke to her as best as he could about her hammering her own relationship with John, but she didn't want to hear it. So thank you, Reddit. I really didn't expect this to blow up like this. The advice and well wishes I got from this was overwhelming in a great way. While I should be happy, something about it just making me feel down. I hope that Debbie gets better and that we can one day have her in our lives. Something about that comment about her mother made me hurt for Debbie a little. Hopefully one day I'll get to hear more of her story. Now I'm going back to my regular life, and I hope I won't ever have a dramatic update for you guys ever again.
Ooh,
that was a long one.
that indeed sounded like generational trauma.
Yeah,
It sounds like, you hear that a lot, and I'm glad to hear at the end of the updated story that trauma stopped with John, and I'm glad that at least John is not he's not like he did a lot of wrongs in the beginning of the story, but I'm glad that he did grow a spine, and I'm glad he decided to be like, hey, let's stop it here right now. I want to be with OP and want to have a life with them, so I want to do right by her. So I'm glad that he did, and I'm glad that they got the community and the support to do that with them. And I feel bad for OP because this is like a marriage, like she wants to work out, and there's so much like barriers for it to happen.
Yeah,
and she still stuck it out, and I applaud OP for the patience. Couldn't have been me. I'm like, if this is, I always say love shouldn't be that fucking difficult, but I understand that everyone's different. Everyone's situation is going to be different. And this is one of those where it's like, fuck, it's a lot. So, I know she had like 4 talking points in the beginning, but if possible, if the finances is right, the situation is right, I would like to add a 5th one for that, just so it can, make your life a little bit more peaceful. Get the hell out of the area you're in. Whoa, Josh. I mean, when she says I can't breathe, I was already thinking in my head, I'm like, well, you guys are going to save some money at least.
John's like in a video game.
in a video game. But I would suggest like, try to get out the area, create that physical barrier. So that way, like there's less likely of a chance where she can just pop out of nowhere, say hi to you guys, or, change your numbers. So that way there's no way of them contacting you unless you want to contact Debbie. So, and it'll be in your control then. So other than that, I'm glad there's a happier update. I wish your relationship gets smoother while you take the steps to like get better, like, the couple counseling and all that. So I'm wishing the rest of your journey together is going to be a smoother ride than how it started.
Yeah, lots of kudos to OP because, I mean, of course, we already gave kudos to John for stepping it up, but
that's a ride or die right there.
After the fact was like, hey, are you good? And then even after that, like, was looking up counselors and therapists for Debbie when she could have just been like, yeah, I hope she fucking like,
I hope she couldn't breathe.
I hope it's game over for her ass.
You know what I'm saying? So kudos to OP for feeling the sympathy And yeah, hopefully this is the worst part of it, and Debbie can get the help she needs. She can maybe see a therapist too, and get her own happy ending, because that is a bummer. Because it's definitely not normal. It seems like John is finally realizing that it's not normal. So
Yeah.
also, like his low contact once every 2 weeks, that's still pretty good. I know a lot of
I
lot
see
of people don't see
my
their parents.
like once every 2 to 3 months. So, like
Yeah.
I call them more, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
But like, yeah, it's still not that bad.
I thought that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Debbie, MILF Manor, please. Just
no,
do it.
Go into one without your son.
But John is
Oh,
John
yeah,
is
I
booked
forgot.
and
John would
blessed.
have to go. You're right. A single life.
Yes.
90 Day Fiance, single life, Debbie. Be the third Debbie in that show.
There you
please.
go. I will say, get your shit figured out before you go on that
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, please.
Or
Or don't, because we want
they might
entertainment.
not take you if you do have your shit
That's
together.
true.
Yeah, if you guys, we want messy. I want messy drama. Okay,
Yeah.
I like seeing other people have problems. I don't like having problems in my life.
yeah, I do
The
feel
producers are like, I think you're too healthy for this.
Yeah, you guys are. Yeah,
too mentally sane. Yeah. Yeah. I do feel bad for Debbie at the point of like it obviously is her own trauma. She's like pushing onto her son, which is not okay, but she's got to deal with that on her own. And I hope she does, so that she can also live a healthier life, as well as not, take away, like be the heel in everyone else's life. Like just sad. So I hope she figures it out. It sounds like OP and John are on a better path. It's like John always says, if people aren't giving you the energy, cut them off. And that's what they had to do. So
this is so crazy because it's the same scenario at the 90 Day Fiance show. Like Debbie and the son, his name is Colt. They have the same dynamic where it's like she'll be upset that, oh, you're gonna leave me here by myself. You're gonna go marry another woman. Yada yada yada. I'm just like, damn. This is I'd be watching this shit every Sunday.
That's crazy. You should start a podcast. Watch TLC with John or something like that.
TLC sponsor us, please.
90-day podcast.
All right, let's do one last one. It's really short here, in contrast to the last one. And then we'll move on to the Patreon. Cross-posted by Writing Giraffe, the goat. And the title is, Am I the Asshole for Getting Engaged After My Brother's Wedding?
Oh, I mean, as long as it's not on the day of
The second
wedding.
after.
The ceremony.
I will say, if you do it on the same day as the wedding, that does make you an asshole.
Okay.
I agree. If he did it in a reception, but it sounds like after the wedding, so I'm gonna go. Not
Even if the
asshole.
reception is over and everyone's walking outside and then it happens there, I'm like, yo, you couldn't wait another day?
like a 48 hours or some shit. Come on, now.
Yeah, at least.
All right. So my brother and his now wife got married 3 days ago. A very small destination ceremony that was under 15 people total. My now fiance and I extended our trip after everyone went home and spent a couple of days exploring the Grand Canyon, a couple hours north of the wedding where he proposed.
I think that's fine. 3 days after everyone's gone, I think that's okay.
It's your own trip. Yeah.
Yeah. If everyone's gone, yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think it's
In my
awesome.
opinion.
When I shared the news with my brother and now sister-in-law, he responded with hostility, saying that it looks like we were competing. I apologized, quickly realizing that he was advocating for my sister-in-law and that she felt hurt, although I'm truly failing to understand why. I also texted her separate apology and explained that it was not our intent to encroach and just wanted to share the news with family, and that it's my belief that there's room for happiness for everyone. And she did not respond. In response to my apology, my brother doubled down and said the timing and location were hurtful and that we shouldn't have planned it around the wedding. So am I the asshole?
My suggestion: gather them all around the Grand Canyon, Spartan kick all of them.
Jesus.
Who's all of them? It's just two of them. That are
Just
complaining.
2 people.
Well, the two of them, the fucking brother and the wife.
It's like the whole family? That's crazy. They haven't had any input, I think.
Lump them all. 2025 is chaotic, John. Even more chaotic.
Oh, God.
We're
We're not going to make it to 2026.
What are you saying, Sean?
I mean, it's a different thing at that point. Like 3 days later, yes, it is close, but it's not like you already had your wedding. Like you already had your
Yes.
thing. Like who? I mean, no offense, but nobody's like, oh my god, within 3 days. No one is feeling this way but you.
No.
I don't think anyone can. And it's not like the engagement even happened. Like if it happened at the wedding venue, then yeah, I'm like, okay, that's weird, right? But it sounds like they just had their own trip. They did their own thing. They got engaged. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal at all. I wouldn't be offended if I got married, and then
Bro, nobody owns like fucking the
The
timing
week.
in a days. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's just like shit. Even holidays share other holidays. Like, are you kidding me? You're not that special.
True. Yeah, I think it's insane. Like, truly, like I just can't imagine like 3 days after my wedding, I'm on cloud 9. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck what's happening around me. So if
Yeah.
other people
Yeah.
have that feeling as well, good for them. I don't understand why you're feeling so shitty after your wedding like this.
I did like what OP says. Like, there's enough happiness to be shared around everybody. It's
Yeah.
not like a fucking finite thing. Happiness can be spread everywhere.
Yeah. And like Sean, like you guys said, it's one thing if it was like the day of or maybe the day after. I could see that being like, okay, well, what?
yeah,
Like,
we're all
that's
still
weird.
together. That's
Yeah.
a little soon.
But it's
a
a
little
few,
soon.
few days later. You're on your own trip
3.
at this point. Everyone
Like
else
what
has
John
gone
said.
home.
48 hours.
Completely
You're
fine.
done.
They get done. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. 48 hours after. Anytime before, I think, leading up, there's a bit more room because that's just,
Yeah, I would say if you got engaged right before the wedding, I'd be like, all right,
that'd be weirder.
You could have
Yo,
fucking,
chill.
Yeah.
you could have wait a little bit. But after the wedding, we already had our thing. We're not
Yeah.
competing. Our day's over. Who
Yeah.
cares?
We celebrated. It's now time to celebrate you guys.
We're
You know what I
finally
mean?
able to fucking rest.
Yeah.
I could care less.
The fucking asshole too wouldn't even be happy for their sibling.
That's what I'm
Dick
saying.
move.
Like,
Yeah, what an
crazy.
idiot,
what a
bro.
wild response. And Reddit agreed and said, not the asshole. Abalon55 said, not the asshole. And I can see you're trying to valiantly to understand, but I'm not sure your brother or his wife will be able to give you a good reason for the reaction because the reaction is wild. Sure, it's rude to propose at someone's wedding, but that's not what happened. The fact that you and your fiance got engaged a few days after their wedding before you flew home is a totally different thing. Also, the level of hostility in that message from your brother is nasty and definitely not normal. I'm so sorry that he treats you like that. So that was the consensus from Reddit, was just like, yeah, it's not their wedding day. It's fine. And I
Mhm.
think that's a good place to leave that.
Grand Canyon Spartan kick. Easy peasy, people.
That is it for this episode, WikiManiacs. John's gone to a dinner. We're recording this on New Year's Day, and he had a dinner to go to, so we had to let him go. But let us know down in the comments, were these people assholes? You can go to YouTube, Discord, even on Spotify now, you can leave comments. So feel free to do so there. If you want to hear our last 2 stories without John, just Sean and I
Whoa.
for that, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/cultivate podcast network, or join our YouTube membership program. You unlock bonus episodes every Monday and Friday, as well as bonus episodes Tuesday if you're a $10 patron. I think that's it. Do we have new merch right now, Sean? I actually don't know. I've been so out of it.
We discussed an idea prior to the Chill Guy merch.
Never executed.
I don't think we did it, but
Okay, well, there will be merch in our store, so you can go check out what we have.
for sure.
Whatever Sean didn't delete on reddit.wikishop.com. Check that out. All the links in the show notes. Sean, welcome back to 2025. Thank you for giving your takes today, as well as John, even though he's not here, but he will hear this.
Always happy to be here with the WikiManiacs, brother.
Hell yeah. And thank you, WikiManiacs, for starting off another amazing year with us. We'll see you Monday with a new Reddit reading episode.
And I'll be reading 30,000 Venmos. See you there.
Holy shit. Bye.
Get therapy.